of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next Monday is Memorial Day, and so next week's meeting will be on Thursday. The prayer about Memorial Day. Dear Lord, as we remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we enjoy every day, we think of how they would follow in the footsteps of your Son and your Savior, Jesus Christ. Please hold our servicemen and women in your strong arms, cover them with your sheltered grace and your presence as they stand in the gap for our protection. We also remember the families of our troops. We ask that your unique blessings to fill their homes, and we pray your peace, provisions, and strength will fill their lives. May the members of our armed forces be supplied with the courage to face each day and have that trust in the Lord's mighty power to accomplish each task. Let our military brothers and sisters feel our love and support. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Good morning, Commissioners. That was a fitting prayer considering what we did last session, so good timing. Thank you. Public comment, item number 1. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to make a comment on an item that's on the agenda? Number 1, and just as a reminder, before you raise your hand, is that according to our current policy, you can either have a portion of public comment at the beginning or at the end. It's not both, as it's written now. So are there any members of the audience that wish to make a comment on an item on the agenda? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item number 2, my report. On May 18th, 2026, I approved for the Department on Aging an unpaid personal leave of absence for Nella Cordone, Information and Referral Assistant, for 8 hours on Friday, June 26th, 2026. This will extend her probationary period by 8 hours, which is 1 day. I also approved an unpaid personal leave of absence for Richard Mack, Social Services Worker, for 8 hours on Friday, June 5th, 2026. This will extend the probationary period by 8 hours or 1 day. Also on May 18th, I approved for Community and Economic Development. I approved and executed a satisfaction release of mortgage for Angela Varner as the mortgage from December 23rd, 2010 for new construction assistance for property located at 16690 Dayton Street in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, in the amount of $20,000 has been satisfied. Also on May 18th, for Job and Family Services, I acknowledge the following new hire appointments as the Executive Director of Job and Family Services complied with the Board of Commissioners recruitment and hiring procedures for Sydney Creamer, Social Services Worker 1 replacement, effective January 29th, 2026. Shania Brown, Social Services Worker 2 replacement, effective March 16th, 2026. And Amy Davidson, Social Services Supervisor 1 replacement, effective April 13th, 2026. On May 18th, for Water Resources, I approved hiring Jeremy Neal to the position of Supervisor Water Systems number 2327 to be effective July 6, 2026 at the rate of $39.13 per hour. This is a WR8 Step 4 with a 1-year probationary period that includes an increase to the hourly rate after successful completion of 180 days to the rate of $40.35 per hour, which is a WR8 Step 5. That will be effective the first full pay period following the 180 days. Also for Water Resources, I accepted the resignation of Glenn Holsclaw, Wastewater Plant Operator 1, number 2326, to be effective June 26, 2026. And finally, for Water Resources, I granted permission to advertise for the position of Wastewater Operator 1, number 2326, internally for a period of 5 working days. If no qualified candidate is presently employed within the department, then advertise externally until the position is filled. And that's all for item number 2.
Thank you. Number 3, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of December 30th, 2025.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Morning, Commissioners. Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials include an appropriations transfer from the Commissioner's miscellaneous contingency account to the Building Department's contract services account for increases needed in their plan review contracts. There's a cash transfer from the general fund to Court Technology for a portion of their 2026 funding. Among the encumbrances are a couple of travels, one from the auditor to attend the County Auditors Association of Ohio 2026 Summer Conference in Columbus, Ohio, and from the Clerk of Courts to attend the Ohio Clerk of Courts Association 2026 Summer Conference in Newark, Ohio. Among the vouchers are $19,263 from the Auditor's Office to Integrity Appraisal Services for the triennial and new construction updates, $9,454 from the Commissioner's Office to Destination Geauga for the first quarter 2026 bed tax distribution, and $47,686.28 from Water Resources to HDR Engineering Incorporated for the McFarland Upgrade and Renovation Project.
Adrian, how is the bed tax tracking this year in comparison to prior years?
I think it is, well, I mean, this is only the first quarter, so
Yeah.
this is the smallest of probably all of the various distributions, but I think this is in line with prior years, so.
I'll move to approve the financials.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Rick Blamer, Airport Authority. Chris Schloss, Airport Authority. The Airport Authority is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 26-074, authorizing the President of the Geauga County Board of Commissioners to execute electronically and submit the Federal Aviation Administration grant offer for Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act Airport Infrastructure Grant, project number 3-39-005-4-030-2026, construction of T-hangar in the amount of $144,211, $137,000 is the FAA portion, $7,211 is a local match, which is paid from the construction grant that we previously received.
And so my understanding was the prior action of the board last week was contingent on the prosecutor's office approval, and I don't think we've received that yet, correct?
This is, that, I think
Separate.
what you're
That's
talking
separate,
about is the
completely separate from
ODOT
this.
grant.
Okay,
This is
This
the
is the
FAA
FAA
grant.
one.
got it.
That was the ODOT grant last week.
Okay.
And Laura did review this and was okay with it.
This one was all right. Okay, very good.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Now you can sign the one in your email.
Morning.
Yeah,
Number 6, Andy Haupt, Geauga County Engineer.
Shane Hajar with Geauga County Engineers.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 26075, Certificate of Need as authorized by ORC 5705.03.19.25 for the renewal of 2 5/10 2.5 mills levy for general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, and repair of streets, roads, and bridges in Geauga County.
So Andy, can you tell us a little more about the levy? I mean, this is obviously a renewal levy.
Correct.
Like, when did the levy start? Is it qualified or non-qualified? Can you just kind of give us some of those?
This is a 5-year renewal, every 5 years. It started in 1986. I wasn't here in 86, but I was in 96. And I'll put it this way, the levy monies that get spent, just as it describes here, for general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, repair of streets, roads, and bridges in Geauga County, I can go back in my mind, once I Didn't realize back then what this was, but now I learned a lot more about it, know a lot more about it. In '96, it's my first year here full-time, and I had to figure out where this was. But there is a bridge on Butternut Road by Fisher, Osmond, which is the other road name that's coming up. I remember being at a steel truss, painted, and part of the bridge inspection is going out there, climbing it, and hitting with a hammer to test the weak spots for rust, corrosion, and things of that nature. Well, that bridge, since then, I've inspected the bridge that's there now, and I can't remember the year it was built, but somewhere in the 90s. That transition from that steel truss bridges, which we had quite a few, took place over 40 years. And the money that this levy generates is what the taxpayers and traveling public in Geauga County are used to. Probably take it for granted for a little bit until you cross the county line and go to some other counties, and the roads do change. Over that 40 years, previous administrations reconstructed roads, and that's one of the words that's used, reconstruction, which is a serious effort. Takes a lot of money, time value of money. You know, all that, we all know how that works. The investment that was made over the past 40 years is basically the foundations of the infrastructure that we're maintaining today. The money has gone into the infrastructure, bridges, the roads, to a point where we have one of the best level of services for the taxpayers in the state, in my opinion. Our county roads look like state routes in other counties. Our township roads even look like county roads in other counties. It's something that I think the level of service, the standard of excellence that we're used to in Geauga County is because of this levy, the investment back into the infrastructure that's been going on for 40 years. We have 2 truss bridges. Last one was built in 2000, Geauga Lake. It's galvanized in fantastic shape. And we built one in Chardon Township in Robinson Road last year or 2 years ago, another galvanized structure. Other than that, our bridges are in excellent shape, and we are at a basic replacement of bridges as needed. It's something that I think this levy, we take for granted, taxpayers take for granted. It is the voters' choice whether to approve this or not. Basically, the value of it, it's built in our system. I think we all see $20 per 100,000 is the, I guess, the number that everybody wants to know what that means. I tried to figure out how to compare that to what is the value of that, because it is a property tax. We all know how that's in the news these days. The turnpike costs $20 to traverse the turnpike and end one trip. That's almost the same amount of miles as we have, 240 some miles for the turnpike. We have 236 miles of county roads in the county. So the value of how many miles do you travel a day in Geauga County, Ralph? You ever think about that? You know, what does that cost? And what do you get value out of it? Safety, things of that nature. So that's just a little, I guess, my thoughts on this levy of what it's done in 40 years. The roads we have. I remember what some of these roads were like. They were fun to drive. I won't say they were, at that time, fun doesn't always equal safe. And we have some of the safest roads out there. As for that, I guess that's what I have to say about the levy and my perspective. Anything else I can go into, I'll do my best.
What, is it a qualified levy or a non-qualified levy?
Qualified and qualified, I don't have that
Okay, so
information.
we get like the money from the state if it's a qualified levy.
That I don't know. I wish I could answer that. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. And then the other thing, so it would be expiring at the end of this year, is that correct? I mean,
Correct.
that kind of stresses me out. I don't, it should stress you out too, right? If the
Sure.
voters don't approve it in November, then you could, particularly if it's a qualified levy, you lose that state money if it doesn't pass. And then how would that impact your budget going into '27?
Our budget, this would be about 27%. That's the numbers we have for our budget. What it would do, what people would see, is instead of doing 8 to 10 projects a year that's resurfacing bridges, we probably see 1 to 2 projects a year. What wouldn't change is snow and ice. is going to always happen, maintenance always happen, is going to take place. That's the ultimate number one priority to the engineer's office. The 40-year improvement curve, if you want to call it, will probably level off if the levy goes away, or even property taxes go away. It would be the same effect. You would see a leveling off of the standard of excellence we've seen. We've turned more into a reactive maintenance operation than we are proactive. Right now, we're a proactive maintenance operation by resurfacing on an appropriate schedule, not letting a road go, 20, 25 years without being resurfaced. We do it within 13 to 15, and that's a good investment in maintaining your house. That's the reference I use. If you don't fix your roof, eventually you're going to have to replace the foundation. That's kind of the parallel I use to what a road is. Should the voters choose not to pass it, or even property taxes go away, we will still maintain the roads. We'll probably need more labor to maintain the roads, patching, crack sealing, ditching, because we'll have a longer cycle of pavement resurfacing, and that kind of is the business of maintenance, where right now we're proactive, we'll turn to reactive maintenance. Snow and ice will happen, though, always. So does it make me nervous? Sure, it can make me nervous, but the roads are gonna be there, and we're gonna maintain them, regardless of how we're funded. We've been blessed with the levy. I believe the voters have approved it overwhelmingly over the years.
One of the questions I was going to ask,
Yeah.
like what kind of passage rates do you usually
It's
see?
upwards of 70%, somewhere in there, 60 to 70. Those are the numbers. I guess I don't have all the numbers, but it's a proven. They can see it, they
Yeah.
can feel it in their car, and they can count on that the money is going into the roads and the bridges, because we keep all our design, survey, as much as possible in-house. We consult very little out, and that's something, I'll toot this horn too. When I started at the county, I thought all county engineers' offices operated like ours, and that is not true. A lot of consultants are hired to do design, to do survey, and we don't do that. The money goes into the roads, not the consultants. That's a little added tidbit there. But will it stop us? Absolutely not. Will it have an effect over time? Sure it will. What that time is, well, how bad's the winter going to be? One of the things we had recently was the frost laws that we put on ready to pull that trigger if we needed, and we didn't have to. There's a reason, because the roads were able to manage the winter we had, which is a pretty hard one. Not every year is going to be like that, but if we didn't have the good foundations of the roads that we have now, we would have had to restrict commerce to a point with the load reductions, and that's something we don't want to do. Commerce that uses the roads, America moves because of trucks. That's what our job is, to keep trucks moving. If trucks move, cars move too.
Yep.
So, I don't know if that helps or not, what I can try to explain some more of.
One thing I'd like to add, we have been able to utilize the levy to leverage other resources, the federal grants, using our levy money as matching for the grants. Brings in, upwards of another $1 million per year in road and bridge funding that levy helps support those grants. So we're trying to make our dollar stretch as far as we can. And as Andy said, keeping our infrastructure in the best of condition for public safety, comfort, ease of use. So, you drive on any of the county infrastructure, you don't feel uncomfortable, your vehicle isn't getting unnecessary abuse, and that's been, since I've been here for 18 years, keeping the roads and bridges in top shape has been our priority, and using these resources to the maximum that we can.
Yeah, I think that's a compelling argument too, to say if we have this local levy, then that will qualify us for additional federal dollars.
Correct.
That we
That is correct.
qualify for.
Yep.
So essentially, our local dollars can be stretched further than they
Exactly.
otherwise would.
Exactly.
That goes into that 10 projects to 2 projects
Yeah.
idea, estimate, potential.
And with this levy, it's going to keep you on schedule, because I know that working with the engineers as township trustee, they trained us to have a 20-year or 25-year road plan. And rating the roads and everything else. So it's, you know, you have very high standards, and you train the township trustees how to manage their funds, that some large, some small, to manage and keep their schedule, you know, because if you look on your schedule, well, 10 years from now, you're probably going to have to repave this, or 12 years ago, or, you know, in the future. So this is essential, so.
It's the 40 years. We're on schedule, and it's a good one.
I'll make a motion to approve number 6.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Sharpie time.
Sharpie time. This is
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, Linda.
All right, so Planning Commission is requesting the board approve and execute the final plat for Chagrin Falls Park. It's a replat of sublet 691, 692, 693, and 694 inclusive. And, excuse me, create sublet 691R in Bainbridge Township. This was approved at the May 12th Planning Commission meeting, and it's going to create a .1837 acre lot on Geneva Street in the subdivision.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Yes.
Rob.
Morning.
Rob Weigel, Maintenance Department.
Morning, Commissioner. Liz Rubino, the Maintenance Department. I'm a little speedier this week. And I have number 8 on the agenda. So the Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Lakeside Window Tint, doing business as Sunray Window Film LLC, to supply and install 3M Affinity 15 window film and 1 Stry supply and install Casper cloaking film over 4 panes of glass for the sheriff's post in the Geauga County Courthouse effective May 19th, with all work to be completed within 60 days in an amount not to exceed $5,159. So, in the new courthouse portion, I have a little drawing. I don't know if you can, will be able to see this. But if not, I have a copy for you. But when you walk in, the sheriff's, when you walk in this store here, this is the sheriff's post here, and they do the scanning over here.
Yeah.
The bottom 4 panels is a concern because they have all of the monitors.
Yeah.
And the film is gonna go on these 4 bottom panels, so that you can't see the monitors.
Yeah.
And that's why,
And when people walk through the doors, they instantly see the deputies there and they want to talk. What's bulletproof glass? So
Yeah.
they want the mirror there to walk around, and they don't start talking till you get to the scanner, which is, it's a big secured area there, and that was their thing. They have to reach around, and obviously the cloaking was the most of the money here, is to prevent anybody from seeing all those screens, because you can see all the security cameras through that glass once you get to the scanner. So we're trying to prevent all of that.
Can you explain what cloaking means?
So it's a film, like, so that monitor there, yeah, we actually have a sample of it. Depending on which way it lays, like, it actually turns the screens black. You can't see
Okay.
the monitor. And it's not actually on the monitor, it's actually on the window. It was better to do it that way.
so this is the film that would go down first on the first panels.
Okay.
That's gonna take, it's gotta dry. Then they're gonna come in and they're going to do the cloaking, and that will go over top of this. So it's gonna produce it's gonna look like a one-way mirror when they're done.
So you can use it on your screen there, and it all depends on how you turn it. And we can bring it up there and you can see what it actually does. It actually turns it black. So no one from the outside would be able to see the monitors at all. And it helps with the mirrored finish too, because without the cloaking, you need a Trask difference in light, which is hard to do there. But the monitors will be black, so the mirror will actually work at that point as well. So.
I'll make a motion to approve 8.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Nick.
Nick Goris, Water Resources. First item on the agenda for the department is requesting the board approve and authorize Commissioner Spitaleri to execute the OWDA fund payment request number 13 for the McFarland Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvement Project for tech services provided by HDR Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $47,686.28. This is for their on-site inspection, submittal reviews, RFIs, has been reviewed by the department. If you notice the dates on the actual invoice, it's almost a month behind. File size, it's got stuck in cybersecurity. We ended up getting two at the same time, so we held one of them back. But unfortunately, we're having that with all of this project. Not only is the dollar amount huge, but the file sizes we're sending in and are getting stuck. So has been reviewed by our department and found to be acceptable.
I'll move to approve then.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
The next item is requesting the board approve and authorize Commissioner Spitaleri to execute the request for partial payment number 11 for Shook Construction Company for the McFarland Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvement Project in the amount of $1,607,400.91, and the OWDA contractor's estimate and the OWDA fund payment request number 11, it's loan number 11217, in the same amount, $1,607,491. So this corresponds with the work complete to date. Our department has reviewed it, found it to be acceptable, in course with the progress construction schedule. So we're tracking, projects is actually looking, starting to see some color. One of the smaller buildings, the brickwork is done. They're doing the roofing membrane today and hopefully setting the copings for this. It's a small, but it's big when you have a sea of gray that starts to show some color. All of the structures that were below grade are above grade now. So the soils issues we had originally, we've surpassed that area, and we're going to start seeing more structures going up. And now it's going to depend on our material vendors for the equipment. You know, across the industry, everybody's lagging on that. We have some guarantees that were in place prior to, just hoping that nothing can hurt those guarantees. And I still think we're ahead of schedule to fire the new plant, still on schedule for the July of 2027 full completion, because we do have to dismantle the old one and convert it, but I do think we're ahead of schedule for the new plant to be online.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board, excuse me, item 11, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board discuss a proposed road name change for the portion of Osmond Road to Levi Lane in Burton and Clarendon Townships, and further grant permission to hold a public hearing for the proposed to be held on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026 at 10 a.m. Notice of this public hearing will be advertised on May 21st, 2026 and on the county website.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Item 12, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve the substitution of Amelie Imbergono of Gallagher Sharp to represent the Clerk of Courts in the Courthouse News Service versus Sheila Bevington et al., District Court Case Number 1:25-CV-02617, and further approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute any necessary documents on behalf of the Board to discontinue the representation of current counsel in the case and appoint and employ Amelie Imbergono of Gallagher Sharp to represent the Clerk of Courts, including to file a joint motion to amend the existing judgment entry with the court.
And just so folks in the audience are aware, Amelie switched firms, and so
Yes.
Sheila has requested that we keep her on, and her new rate is actually lower than the rate we were paying prior to, so it's a saving just to taxpayers. And obviously, then a new attorney doesn't have to get up to date on the case.
Yes.
So I'll move to approve item number 12.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Item 13, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board schedule special meetings on Thursday, June 4th, 2026, and Thursday, July 9th, 2026, at 9:30 a.m. to hold work sessions with departments. This will revise the previous action from March 17th, 2026, where these work sessions were scheduled to be held at 10 a.m. and then are now at 9:30 a.m. and be held as special meetings. These meetings will be held in the County Office Building, Room B303 in Chardon.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Item number 14, board discussion. The first item is opioid settlement grant. So as you recall, we tabled the one discussion regarding giving the remaining amount, which is approximately $33,000 that's left of the $100,000.
Isn't it, is this about the recovery house?
It is, yes.
I thought that number was 50,000.
They had requested 50,000, but you had allocated as a board, and Christie can correct me if I'm wrong, approximately 70,000, just a little over
I
70.
thought it was 77,000, so we'd have 23,000 remaining, I believe.
So that
If we wanted to go with the 100,000.
Yes, so their proposal to the board was for 50. We had tabled that portion, and there's that small remainder. I did talk to Christine to see if she'd be able to make it today. Unfortunately, she couldn't, but I did let her know that we'd be bringing it back up just to see what direction the board's interested in going with regards to the funding. And it's been a few weeks since we've talked about it in session, so just wanted to keep it top of mind and see if there's any thoughts on that remaining balance. If we just don't spend it, we allocate the existing balance, to the recovery home and not give them the full 50 that they've requested, but just simply the remaining balance, or if you'd like to consider the full 50,000 ask, which would be above the 100,000 that we've allocated at your request.
Well, all this money, if we don't, it's like Jim Flay said a couple months ago, that this is opioid settlement grant money, and I feel that we should put it in the proper place at the proper time, whether, and it's approximately, that we give out $100,000 a year. Now, it could be 95, it could be 135, if situations come in, but if we don't start spending this money, we're going to have over $1 million, and we're not going to help anybody with it. Opioid or recovery homes or anything else. So at this time, I want to make a motion that we make it $50,000 for recovery home in Chardon. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd rather wait to talk to Christine and hear what she has to say and then kind of get a little more details.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have heard from residents, both neighbors and from parents with students at the school who are concerned about that location. And I understand that legally per, Chardon zoning and so forth, it is allowed to be there. And I certainly understand the need to have a facility like this within our community. I would just like it to be if we're going to put money towards it and essentially subsidize it, I would just like it to be in a location where the community is welcoming it. And that doesn't seem to be what's happening based on the feedback we've received from residents.
And there has been quite a bit of feedback. I've heard it quite a bit myself, so.
Okay. Yeah, and I think, I don't want to speak for Christine, but I know their ask is 50,000. So I think if she was here, that would be their ask, is for the full 50,000. So we could certainly bring it back next week and try to arrive at a decision, and I can circle back with Christine and see if she can be here next week.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other projects that was, that submitted a proposal was for the Suicide, Fatality, and Drug Overdose, Drug Overdose and Suicide Fatality Review Board. That's the health department does and investigates these deaths that occur either through suicide or drug overdoses, and then looks at trends and what sort of system gaps are occurring in the community and how we can stop these deaths from occurring. I don't remember what their ask was, maybe $30,000, but I'm sure whatever we gave them of that remaining money, we could give them the 23, and that would be helpful to them as they do that important work.
Okay, that sounds good. We can come up with some other options, I'm sure.
Well, and the other thing too that I tell you that, is another option, and I would probably need to talk to the sheriff, is their care unit from the sheriff's office too, that's engaged, boots on the ground every time that there's a call for action, they're there. And that's something too that I
The
don't know.
Lost Team, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That is a good program.
So I don't know if that's something too. I know that they, hold some fundraiser and stuff, but they've got quite a burden on their shoulders as far as, handling a lot of cases within the county. So I don't know all what's involved with the health department, as far as that, but as far as people that are dealing with that, they're probably, some of the ones that would have the best experience on a daily basis.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that. And the only thing I would say is we did have a proposal process, so I would like to see something in writing where they submit a proposal. The other thing I was wondering is what happened to that mass spectrometer? Did you guys receive that equipment? I know we allocated that funding last year.
Prosecutors working on it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that direction. The second item is the Safety Center Master Security Control Console upgrade, and we have Chuck.
Morning.
Charles T-Catch, Maintenance Department. This is for board discussion today. There's no motion before the board. We just wanted to talk about this a little bit and maybe get some direction on the best way to proceed. We have a new project at the Safety Center. It's the Security Control Console upgrade. It is a highly specific project, really focused on technology and software, hardware and software upgrades. It's really to take the console to the next level. It's currently an analog console. And for example, recently we installed digital cameras. Not all the functionality completely works with the analog consoles. We're also looking to integrate all the sub-applications such as the intercoms and the cameras, so they all interact and work together. And with the analog console, that reduces the functionality and makes it somewhat difficult to work with. Out of scope for the project is really, we're not looking to renovate the room, we're not looking to change out any of the end devices, which are the cameras and the intercoms. This is purely just the console. It is highly specialized. There's typically 3 levels of upgrades, which I just alluded to. One is just the end device change-outs, which is typically less than $250,000. You have the console upgrade, which would really add integrated touchscreens as well as the analog to digital conversion. And then you'd have the full facility integration, which would change out the end units and do a full renovation of the room. And you can see the prices there. We are focused just on the level 2, as I mentioned. We're targeting less than $500,000. We hope to get much lower than that, but it really will actually depend on the scope. But we're really here today to talk about the project delivery method, because today the maintenance department primarily uses the traditional design, bid, build delivery method. So you hire an engineering firm, you have a separate contract with them, you send it out to bid, and then you award the contract and have a separate contract with the construction firm. This type of project is so specialized that the integration of the design and the construction, it's hard to find 2 separate firms that are willing to, one actually do the design and the other one do an installation, and they actually work together. So what we're looking to do is what the ORC actually defines a number of project delivery methods. The one that we feel best fits, and I'll talk about that in a minute, is the design build. And it really lends itself to tying the design and the construction together. It's really tailored to highly specialized types of integrations. And the interesting thing about this is there's very few firms in the U.S. that actually do this work. So if you don't hire somebody to do both pieces of it, it's very hard to find one. There's just a handful of them that really specialize in this field. So with that, we would like to pursue a design-build approach, but since we have not used it in the past, we don't have any process, we don't have any contracts, we don't have any of the base support procedures in place to do that. So we would have to build those out. And with that, if you take look at the last page of what I handed out, to really move forward with a design-build approach, the maintenance department ourselves would need to ramp up on this process. It requires a criteria architect engineer upfront, this is a firm that just helps you build the criteria by which you will select a design-build firm and kind of tailors the scope a little bit to that. And then they help actually through the process of evaluating the firms and selecting the proposals. The actual process is not the normal bid process. You don't send it out for bid and take the lowest bid. It's a two-step process. You first look for a qualifications-based submittal. You pick a handful of firms, maybe 2 or 3, and then you ask for proposals from each of those, and then you evaluate the proposals. So it's not a competitive bid as we're used to, but it does allow itself to scale down to a certain number of key firms and then really evaluate each of the proposals that they submit.
And Chuck, when they submit the proposal, that will include the price, will be one of the components of the
Yeah,
proposal.
the price as well as their approach, how they're going to design it, what they're proposing, the types of things that they would want to consider and those types of things. So
And then would you evaluate those, like use some sort of like matrix to evaluate different criteria? Because I would think it's not just a pricing issue, right?
Correct.
It's the whole
it has to be
holistic
based on
approach.
both the
Okay.
qualifications, the technical capabilities, as well as the price. And that's the purpose of the criteria architect. They work with the owners and they build out a matrix by which you will then sit and evaluate those firms, right?
I'm following you.
So with that, then, we would need 2 new types of contracts developed. One would be the criteria architect engineer agreement template, as well as then the design build contract template. I did approach the prosecutor's office to see if we had any templates that we've used in the past that I could build from. They do not. They would have to build them from scratch, which is the reason why I'm here today. They would have to reach out to an outside firm. It's going to cost about $7,000, $5,000 to $7,000. And we just want to make sure that the board feels comfortable in this approach and would support this type of approach going forward for this particular project. We could then reuse the template if we ever had a need for a similar type project down the road.
Yeah, so that was going to be my question. Do you foresee this being something that could be used in other circumstances?
I do think that we've had a few projects that are very specialized that we've forced into the design, bid, build, but it would probably be better suited if we had a template and had something
Yeah.
that we could roll out. It would probably work better.
Okay, that's what I was
Not
hoping
a
to say.
lot, but there's
There's enough where that this would fit in, and
Right.
it would be a better process if
Right.
you had something ready to go. So there's just the initial investment in this particular project.
Right. So that was really the discussion, and we were just looking for if there's any concerns or if we are truly opposed to this approach, we can go back and try to find a design, bid, build approach and look for a firm that doesn't want to do the installation but would only do the design and vice
Such a
versa.
specialized system that I think this approach makes sense. What sort of timeline, well, how long will this console last? I mean, when we think about our computers, like in our office, we're talking 5 years and it's done,
Right.
right? But this is going to be a significant investment, and how long do you think that will be
I think,
up to code? Or,
yeah, I mean, I think, we are moving to the IP-based technology. So that's going to lend itself at least for the next 20 years because it's much more modular. You can add, a lot of components to it and it can really build out. There's no guarantee of that. Someone could come out with something different than IP-based technology. It could be the latest and greatest, and we may have to upgrade, but I think this one lasts 20 years. I think we should feel comfortable that this should take us through another 20.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the safety center to check out the current system, and I don't want to get into it too much for
Right.
safety concerns, but I do think that it is in need of replacement. I guess my only concern, obviously there is more cost with this model, at least initially, although I think we could get to a better product in the end doing this way, is just the timeline that this would take.
The timeline's not going to be that different
Okay.
than the timeline we're currently under. I think with a design bid build, you're looking at almost a year to design and bid, and then almost a year to build. This is going to be a similar process. We will get the criteria architect up front. That will probably take 6 to 9 months. And there's a two-step qualification and then proposal process, but the second step is not going out for bid. So it's almost the second.
You kind of jumped one of the
correct.
steps. Yeah, okay, I understand. Thank you for that explanation, that was helpful.
So, any other questions or comments? Any concerns with this approach? Should we say no to it?
You have some basic specifications for this job, and then you get everybody's, you whittle it down to 3 contractors, vendors.
Right.
And then the final specifications will be right before they start.
Correct.
Because one's going to offer this and the other one's going to offer that, and you
Right.
don't need this, but you really need that over there.
Exactly, and there will be a whole evaluation process of, do we really need that? Because only this one company proposed it, so you have to really weigh all of those different variables that are gonna come in with this approach. So,
Thanks for the details.
okay,
Yeah, I
thank you.
appreciate your work on this.
All right.
Any other items for board discussion? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 15, which is public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and township or municipality, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and are kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct.
Anybody for public comment? Hearing none? Oh, we got a hand up.
Howard, South Russell. Any information on NOACA? They meet again in June. Is anybody going to be there in June to talk about where the $30 million a year gas tax goes? Guess not. NOACA will be brought up next week again.
I hope so.
I do too. And please don't bring her into the Federated Church. That was a holy mess last time, and if it ever started again, it would be an embarrassment for Geauga County.
Thank you for your concerns.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment?
Happy birthday, Howard. 87 today, right?
Going to 90.
All right.
Okay.
Hope to be here next week. Thank you.
Hearing no more public comment, it's over with. Go to item 16.
Sure. Item 16, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the compensation of public employees pursuant to ORC 121.22G1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Or,
Commissioner
Roll call.
Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWark.
yes.
It will be myself, Deputy County Administrator Jimison, the Sheriff, and Chief Rowan joining us.
Okay, we're back.
I have you returned at 10:37.
No action.
Hey, Jim?
Yes. Anything else?
The only thing I wanted to follow up is from like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, the sheriff had brought up the drug testing equipment.
Yeah, I asked that question during the opioid.
Yeah, so where are we at with that as far as?
That's what I just asked that during that discussion. He
Because
was
it's
saying
been,
that
it's been
it was
how
with the
long now?
Prosecutor's office.
Well, at least 6 months. At least 6 months. Not more. You probably don't
Because do we
remember.
have the authority to transfer the funds to them to be able to do the purchase and be done with this?
We did that process started at the fair last year.
Right.
And it was approved to move forward.
Yeah.
I know Adrian has been working with the prosecutor's office on trying to get whatever that was necessary to move it forward.
Well, we definitely have to get it on the front burner because.
We just need to
it's
find out
important.
from Adrian where it stands.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because the money's already encumbered.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tried to have an answer a little bit,
Next week for sure.
to try to figure that out, because the equipment is ready to be purchased, correct? The units are available, and if they're not, we need to be able to get at least on the list to be able to get them. I know when we did that, up in Portage, we fortunately got it funded by the state for us, but it was still a long period of time before we got the unit, so, yeah, and I think it's a huge tool to have.
Well, I think we would use it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it would relieve some of the crime lab stuff, it'd give us instant results.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of it. That's why the AG went out and funded those.
Right.
And they originally told us that Geauga County was gonna get it, and then Portage stole it. But it was to take that pressure off the crime lab.
And we sent 2 or 3 deputies to the training to be certified operators.
So your guys are already trained, ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. So we just need the equipment.
Ask him, see where it stands.
All right, so that will be the next step. We'll reach out to Adrian. Okay. And he'll get us a status.
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? Why, so I remember last year at the fair you talked about this, so why is it coming up today?
Because nothing has happened.
Right, okay.
Because earlier we were talking about the opioid settlement money. So,
Yeah, that's
it's
why I
fair.
brought it up, because, we were talking about the remaining funds of the $100,000 that was encumbered. And so I think last year is when, around the fair time, is when we encumbered the money for the mass spectrometer.
And that was the first item from this opioid.
Yes, that was the first thing we decided to allocate the funds towards, so.
Are you getting concerned it might fall through, or is there?
No. No. Okay. Anything, Amy? Ralph?
No.
Carolyn?
No, thank you.
Just remember your budget hearings.
Budget hearings at 12:30. Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.